showtime.
Only slabs.
Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics, and it's Saturday, and that means it's time for Only Slabs. And with me, of course, as always, the man from the north, my friend, my brother from another mother and another father. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris the Comic Vet. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I just realized something.
What's that?
I'm
No
not in
jersey.
uniform. I'm
Yeah,
not in
you're out of
uniform.
uniform.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not in
you're horrible.
uniform. All right.
Well, that's all right. We'll,
all right.
we'll let you slide this time.
Okay.
You're wearing a Spider-Man shirt.
Yeah, I'm dressed for the occasion, just not in uniform.
That's right. That's right. Right. All right. Well, anyways, we'll let you do. You can do that while we're saying hello to the chat or whatever.
Yeah, you read my
but,
mind.
but before we do that, so he's not sitting all by himself in the back room there. Let's bring on today's guest, ladies and gentlemen. He is a comic overstreet advisor, a CBM writer, a collector extraordinaire of not just comics but many things. Ladies and gentlemen, Collecto6, Stepo.
Hi, guys.
How you doing, sir?
Nice to thank you. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I'm excited to have you. We've talked back and forth via Instagram now probably for a couple months, but long time admirer of the Instagram postings.
Thank you.
And I'm super happy to have you on the show here. But before we do get into your books and everything, we do have to say hello to the chat. It's required by law, I think.
Romper bumper, stomper boo, tell me do. Magic mirror, tell me today, did all of my friends have fun at play?
Ellis Crucius did. Hooray! Ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Collector 82, he's all jacked up on dexterous. Yes, that's a key to I always make reference to the fact a lot of the Golden Age books, if it wasn't a Daisy air rifle, it seemed like it was a Baby Ruth candy bar, which always advertised that they were rich and dexterous, baby. So Collector 82's picked that up. I love that. Larry Green Machine. Hey, let's get this party started. Absolutely. S Vaughn 82. How you doing? Chattanooga, Tennessee. Looking forward to the show.
Hi, Vaughn.
Kenneth Birds here, everybody. Excellent. Marty Aleko. How you doing? Dead Man. Nice to have you there. The party has already started. Excellent. Shop for Comics, creator of our Shopverse. Phenomenal. Mr. Tom King, but not that Tom King. Let's see here. Who else we got in the chat? We got PSN Green Hulksters here, also along the Pacific Coast here with us. Let's see, not everybody's in the East Coast with you. Well, you're not on the East Coast. You're just in the Eastern time zone in Canada.
Hey, man, if you're not first.
Well, you're not first.
I am first. Well, Newfoundland's first, but anyways.
Trev the Shipping Guru. Good evening. Are you traveling outside of the United States today? This is not evening anywhere in the U.S. yet.
How are things in Australia?
he might be over in visiting Japan.
I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Von Hoop's Comics from the Spiral Dimension. Hoot, hoot. How you doing? Who's our favorite Maul? Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Wayne Deacon's here. Hello, everybody.
But DVH can legitimately say good evening all because it is evening over there.
It's early evening, late afternoon. It's in that Twix time right now.
Yeah.
Because it's it's after 6 p.m. there. So yeah, never mind. We'll allow it. Chop
Marty.
and Drop. How you doing?
Chop.
Now, Australia's in the house. It's good morning. Welcome, man. Spidey. Happy to have you up at 4:30 in the morning with us. Let's see. Sector 2815, our man checking in from the Lantern Corps. The real James Willie, as opposed to that fake James Willie that comes by every once in a while. No, we've never had the fake James Willie. That'd be interesting, though. Ladies and gentlemen, DAGR cards, Dagger cards, welcome. Where did you go, hosers?
Yeah, he was talking that I didn't have my jersey on.
Yeah. Collecting with Durs is here. Is at work for another 30 minutes, but he'll be joining us on the road home. And when he gets here, let's see who else we gotta say hello to. We'll make sure to get everybody. Oh, Charmaine Deacon is here, everybody. Thank you for being continuing to be a channel member. Let's see here. We got scroll down. Yeah, get and Durs. Everyone's saying hello to each other. I've seen that. Trap shop. I get. Oh yeah. Scroll through. Well, maybe. Let us. Oh nope. Mrs.
Party?
Von Hoot's here.
Oh,
Rock City's here. Excellent. Marty's dropping in early with that super chat for his weekly contribution to cancer, because all these super chats and all the channel revenue goes to comics curing cancer. Just for that, since you're Marty, since you were quick to drop that, I have a brand new. I actually have a couple brand new ones, but let's give you the first of the brand new super chats.
Bet she gives great helmet.
Kiss me. No. Lord Helmet, what? You're needed on the bridge, sir. Knock on my door. Knock next time.
Unruly Simeon's here. How you doing? Izzy versed in NYC Comics. Rob does see me. Yes, I do see you. Anachronic Comics. Joe, how you doing? He's at his son's place helping him out with some remodeling. May need to be in and out of the show. Well, that's all right. We're still there. Yeah, some space balls. Absolutely. Let's see. Lee Polonsky's here. Lee, how you doing, Lee? Long time no see. Lee, of course, been on the show a couple times. Phenomenal guest. We got to get Lee back on again. Actually, it's been too long since we've had Lee on. Triple G, he's checking in here, making sure that I stay on time so I can make it to his show on time there. Lone Eagle, how you doing? And did I miss anybody? Because I know my chat jumped when I hit the super chat, but I think we got everybody. All right. Excellent. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. Oh, Ragman Comics is here, which means he'll win, because usually when he shows up, he wins something during our things. He's been pretty good at that. Amazing. All right, guys. So if I missed anybody, I apologize, but I love you all, each and every one of you. Again, thank you very much already for the super chat. Remember, 100% of this channel revenue, whether it's ads, membership fees, the merchandise sales, super chats, etc., it all goes to Comics Curing Cancer, an official campaign of the American Cancer Society. Right now, this channel's already raised over $1,300 so far. Of course, the big October is our big push when we do our big auction and stuff for that, which we're hoping to beat last year when we raised $22,000. So this year's goal, $25,000. So everything we do now helps to nibble away and make that goal achievable. So keep those super chats flowing throughout the show. We greatly appreciate it, guys. And we say hello to, and a special shout out to all the channel members who are paying that $2.99 every month to help fight cancer. The Comic Vet, Nick's Kicks and Comics, Travis Vick, Six Face, Actual Dracula, Stephen C, Chris at Retro Rocket Comics, Jack B Comics, Tate Prime, PSN Green Hulkster, Digger Jim 720, Legion of Comics, Blue Hellion Comics, Dr. Hoots Comics from the Spiral Dimension, Comic Aussie, Flo Dameron, Beckerman, DJ Links, Remy Q Studios, Comics by the Bay, Gary B, the Casual Comics Guy, Sector 2815, The Real James Willie, Dale of Suspense Comics, The Comic Viking, Collecting with Durs, Tate Prime, Circumstances, Shattered Glass Comic Reviews, Chaos and Comics, Comic Journey, Marty Aleko, Justin Birch Letters, Travis the Shipping Guru, or Trev the Shipping Guru, Matt 268, Comics with Murdoch, Austin LeMay, Comic Man Andy, Mad Spidey, Cup of Comics, Brick Family 54 Comics, Switch Comics, Ben Parker Comics, Seth 11, Hulk Collector 82, Brian LCS, L Green Machine, Izzyverse NYC Comics, A Comic Bookworm, Chuck Hensey, Gene Malo, Lone Eagle, Comicverse, Triple G Comics, Cat Fan Comics Man, Noggin Comics, Aggressively Relaxing, Collectible Inc., Charmaine Deacon, Dagger, DAGR Comics, and Deadman. Thank you all so much for your continued support of the channel and the cause. If you can join, again, it's hit the join button. It's $2.99 a month, and all the proceeds from that go to Comics Curing Cancer. While you're at it, don't forget you can also hit that merchandise store button there. Any of the merch store products there You can use that special code YT25 shopping. I'll put that up in a moment. Across the bottom, you get 25% discount thanks to YouTube, but all the profit from those items go to Comics Curing Cancer as well. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and let me find that. Where's that one? It's the YouTube show. There you go. Across the bottom there, 25% on your gear. All right, guys. Without any further ado, we've done enough chit chat. It's that time of the show. We've done it in record time, actually. 10 minutes we've got to this point of the show, which is phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, Collecto6 Stepo, how you doing?
Doing well. Thank you very much.
I'm like I said, so excited to have you with us. Collector's Inventory, how you doing? DJ Links, thanks for joining us this morning. Immortal Biggie Shaq jumping in.
Hi, Big.
Guys. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let's get into some books here.
Okay, I've collected comics since 1960, and the
So
way
you're
I got,
relatively new to this.
I beg your pardon.
Relatively new to this.
Rookie.
I'm trying to figure it out. The way I started was we would go to church on Sundays, and my family ran hotels, and we had restaurants in each of them as well. Our family had 2 hotels, and so the Imperial Hotel and Mallory Hotels in Portland. So what we did was after church, we'd go to the restaurant at the Imperial, and it was always jam-packed. And my father would basically take notes and do work, basically. But he would let it. We had a newsstand there in front of the restaurant at the check stand. And so Dad said we could each have a comic book to read while we were waiting for the food to come and stuff. And that's where I basically started getting comics from. And that's where I got my Amazing Spider-Man #1, Journey into Mystery 83, and various and assorted other books, DC books, World's Finest, and some of these others. But that's how I actually started.
That's awesome. I started from a spinner rack too, but it was much later in life, unfortunately. Chris, how about you? Did you start on a spinner rack?
Yeah. Actually, spinner rack, yes, but it was kind of like a grocery store. Those rackings then, and would be like Archie books. And
that was the place. Yeah. Drugstores and stuff like that. Very much so.
Yeah.
Hi, Man Cave.
Doc.
He's coming up pretty soon in September. Coming up again for another new appearance. Yeah,
it's great.
All right. Let's go ahead and show these guys a book or two.
All right. Well, by request.
Oh,
by me.
I'm starting with this one.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yes. Hold on.
Thanks everyone for tuning in OnlySlabs this week. That's it. We're good. I'm out.
It's all
Yes! Yes! Yes!
That's like one of the holy grails, especially if not the holy grail.
Startling Comics 49 robot covers grail for many robot collectors, sci-fi collectors. My grail of all grail books that one day when my kids are finally done with college and I can spend money on me. Yeah. Phenomenal book there, sir.
Thank you.
Hold on, Step. Before you put that down, would you mind reading us what's on the right side of the label and the cover artist for that, please?
Right side of the label says classic robot cover, bondage cover, airbrushed cover. And of course, Alex Schomburg did the cover. And Hal Sherman, who did Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy, and among others, provides artwork inside the book.
Wow,
one of the goats right there, Schomburg, without a doubt.
Yeah, he was where I started. Actually, I started with World's Finest Comics because of a thing that happened when I was a really little kid. In the basement of my grandparents' house, there was grandmother did art projects, and in the dividers of her various things, elves and styrofoam and things like that, there was the cover of World's Finest 6, the one with the servicemen shaking hands with Batman, Superman, and Robin. Tore the cover off and used it as a divider. so I was down. I said, "Wow, where's the rest of this book?" And so finally, when in 1988 or whatever, when I started to collect Golden Age, the very first things I had to get were World's Finest, and that book in particular, because I always wanted to know what went on behind that cover, and that's when I started. So
awesome.
Yeah, crazy book. That book, I can't even tell you guys what it's. There's no recent sales, so there's nothing I'm even going to try to even speculate where it runs. Just know that it's close to it's close to a 5-figure book at that grade. Probably is if it was on the market.
Well, thank you. Okay, next up, I decided to do a Schomburg cover, although it's one that is a little bit different. Ned Pines did Standard Nidor. He was the lead guy. He did Pines Comics. He did a whole bunch of stuff. And Standard, Nidor, and he had several other names for all of that group of all the companies that he had producing. But under Standard, what he did post-war was that he would get the licensing to do various characters. He got Alley Oop, he got Brick Bradford, and he also got Captain Easy. And Schomburg, of course, who was working there for Standard Nidor, would do the covers for a lot of the Alley Oops and the other. Of course, the Brick Bradford robot cover is a beauty as well.
Yes.
But this one I just got recently.
Hello, nuts.
Oh yeah, I saw that one coming a mile away. My goodness.
Yes, indeed.
And it's interesting that if you look at Captain Easy's face, I think it looks very similar to Alley Oop with sort of the hawk nosed and the kind of the configuration, but the actual the good girl part of the program is definitely a Schomburg gal, which always was. There is a very, very distinctive thing. I mean, how he drew his damsels. I always call him the Schomburg gal. In a lot of the ones post-war, it was always the Schomburg gal. She may be blonde, she may be brunette, she may be black-haired, but it was always she was always in trouble, like the gal on the cover of Starling 49. That was the Schomburg gal as a blonde.
And often barefoot.
Always better if they're barefoot. That, of course, is because I live in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, okay.
We don't know what shoes are.
What are those?
I don't know. They're for suckers and East Coast businessmen.
Idiots. Another artist, of course, who is very, very good is Matt Baker. And the ship has come in definitely for Matt Baker covers, if it's Seven Seas or any number of different books that he did, JoJo, all of the stuff that he did. But he actually spread out into various other companies as well. One of which was Avon.
Oh, yeah.
And this cover is, I think, one of his nicer ones, with the gal in blue. And of course, the Saint, who was written by Leslie Charteris. And his when the Saint movies came out in the late 30s with George Sanders and Louis Hayward was the first Saint that in the movies. He was very good, but he didn't like it very much because in the books, if you ever read the Saint books, he took the money. He would take the money from the ungodly. But in with Roger Moore, he definitely disliked that because he said, where does he get the money? He's always giving money away. They assume that the Saint has got money from stealing from some other time or something. So, yeah, Charteris didn't care for that too much. He did take the money, however.
That's great.
What's the year on that release?
This was released. Let me put my cheaters on because the light's glary. This is from 1948. And this also has inside Lucky Dale, Girl Detective.
Awesome.
And A.C. Hollingsworth also does some of the artwork inside the book. The cover is Matt Baker. And Hollingsworth, if you does a lot of really nice good girl covers. Crimes by Women 2, I think in particular, is a stunning book by Hollingsworth, and he does very cool covers.
Yeah, that's a beautiful cover. And for pre-code, they're not really pushing the envelope right there with that one. At least by today's standards, the leg being shown by today's standards isn't, over the top, but
this wasn't
late 40s, different story, maybe.
Well, this one isn't quite as overt that would require, people to burn them, although mothers would joyfully burn them anyway.
Yeah.
But it's a, pre-code good girl. The Atomic Age, Golden Age for me starts in 38 when Action 1 came out. Then I kind of look at it before that for the first years, like from 34, 35, when New Funnies and stuff came out. Yeah. I call that pre-Golden Age. And then before that, that's what I call Platinum Age, because then you have Mutt and Jeff and, the various, the characters, the Yellow Kid, Buster Brown, the Brownies, and a lot of those other ones. Really creaky, the Victorian Age. Yeah. I can't say that I appreciate it, but I'm not a big Platinum Age guy. But I think that if it's that close to when actual comic books are being produced, for the Golden Age, I call it pre-Golden Age. And of course, up to 1945 is the heart of the Golden Age, 38 to 45. And then they drop the bomb. And so the Golden Age works with Atomic Age from when the bomb dropped up until, 52. Actually, I go about 1950. And then at that point, I call it pre-code, because then you have basically everybody's scrambling to try and get what they can in before the code comes from all the outcry. And so, but the Atomic Age to me is where I've been spending an awful lot of my time and interest and spending for books here of late, because there's so many things I've never seen. And when you have the venues that we have now to see this stuff and have access to buy, if it's on eBay or My Comic Shop, you have such a wonderful a way to be able to get the books, and way too easy, because you click it twice and they have this thing called PayPal, and then all of a sudden, and then incredibly, though, the bill still comes. But I haven't figured out around that part yet. But
let me know when you do.
Yeah, nor have I.
Well, I'll let you know.
And write it down, please. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it's fun to to chop up some of these sub-areas, because obviously, like, even if you just go by this standard where people go with the standard idea of platinum and gold, the Atomic Age is still one of those ages that's a sub age that a lot of people don't recognize it as its own group. It's just kind of this sub overlap, and I tend to use it to describe that era from 46 to 56, referencing mostly the sci-fi genre. So I don't usually use it to describe
Good Girl, Crime, and PCH. I mean, it's really 47 and going into 48 is the high water mark for the really best of the good girl stuff. And there's others too, but if you say Golden Age, then, and it goes clear up to 1950, it's, Golden Age from 1950 and Golden Age from 1940 are entirely different animals. That's why I think the Atomic Age is a more accurate.
It is. The funny thing is that we do
still Golden Age, though.
Yeah, no. The funny thing is that we do that to ourselves there, but yet we're still stuck in today, where we've been in the modern age now. Some people don't even recognize copper. So we've been dealing essentially with the modern age for some people since 1980 for 40 years. I mean, there's been so much change in this time.
It's true. It's very true.
There's very distinct periods between the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s in the comics and such. So that's why we keep saying here on the Only Slabs, recognize the foil age.
And you recognize it as what, Rob?
The foil age starting around 1990, right with the start of Image Comics. In that period, we like to call it our foil age. That's where we got a lot of foil and holograms started.
I remember I had them. I went.
And it sticks with our metal themes. If we go with foil, right? I mean, I've heard a lot of I've heard Extreme Age and other things that people have floated, but I just like the name of the foil age in there.
It works.
Yeah,
it's a good descriptor.
Anyways, Of course, we have a second coming of the foil age lately. This year, over this past year and a half. Jeez Louise.
I'm doing my best as I look at these books as I go. I am looking for rich, nourishing dextrose to show you. So as soon as I have some
Nice.
dextrose, I will show you.
If not, I can always pull one off the wall.
This next cover is by an artist named Walter Johnson, who has done a lot of stuff in the Golden Age and went longer as well. And this is another Saint cover.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh, nice.
Wow.
Woman in red dress. Oh, nice. 6'5".
Wow.
6'5". What is it? Off white to white?
Off white to white. You have good vision.
No, I can't read it. I just guessed
knows
by.
the
I guessed by the length of the.
Yeah.
The length of the prose. Very
Right.
good.
It's called the gift of being born nearsighted and having been able to see almost nothing my entire life, that you can guess a lot of things. That is a great cover. Like the platinum hair.
They just women were women and men were men. And today in comics, men are women and women are men. And I think that it's confusing and unpleasant. And I wish that they would stop messing with this stuff and get back to good storytelling, because this is just, I'm a dinosaur. I prefer to have the heroes. If you have some other motivation or whatever you want to do with something, and you believe in your cause and everything's great, create a character that will best espouse that. Don't take Batman or Superman or some other character who has an enormous canon of work and people who have affection for those characters for who they are and what their stories are. And I just don't like to have the retconning that goes on and the gender swapping and all that other stuff. I know it's trendy to do it, but I just don't. I think it's shoddy. I prefer to have things just let the characters be themselves and create characters then that will actually do what you want them to do. And those are the best ones anyway, because they, as far as how they espouse, what the values and things that they are. For example, having nothing to do with that, but
Well,
I collect Batman, and the reason I did was because Batman was better because he wasn't that super powered, and he always most of the time would get beaten up, and then he'd come back and beat them up. So he could actually be, but Superman was so powerful, it was difficult to make it seem challenging to him. But in the early books, Superman was, not a super, and he just could jump, and he was really strong. And all of he had a lot of stories where he is kind of progressive, where, for example, there was a thing where there was a labor union dispute, and the workers were in terrible trouble, and the executives of the unions and the managers of the mines were not taking care of the workers, and there are these fat cats smoking cigars and what have you. So Superman found out about it, and he grabbed the head of the union, he grabbed the head of the company, and then he burrowed underground, and then he buried them alive and gave them picks and shovels, and they said, while you're digging out to save your lives, think about the error of your ways. And he didn't care if they got out or not. That was Superman back then.
Well, characters change with the times.
I like that.
Let's take another look.
It's coming. This is a Street and Smith publication, and it's a Charles Call and John Meditz art cover. And this has a Walter Gibson story, and this is The Shadow.
Oh, yeah. What evil lurks in the heart of men.
Oh, boy.
And this is a character named Thade, Thade, and is a really bad cat for The Shadow, and he was a recurring villain, and just a really great kind of a monster horror. He's kind of coming out of the cover to get you.
What year is this book? This book
is from 1944.
44. Okay. Yes.
And unfortunately, all we're going to do is have a success in radio, not rich, nourishing.
Well, let me tell you something. Having been in radio, you're not going to have any success in radio. Trust me. It's a horrible industry, kids. You don't want to get into it. Trust me.
With your radio resonant voice.
I started working in radio here on the West Coast in the San Francisco Bay Area out of college. I was working for a couple rock and roll radio stations out here for years and quickly became disenfranchised with the radio business.
I thought it started in a radio station in Fresno, California.
No. Unfortunately, I never was in Fresno. I actually started in Vermont, actually, of all places, when I was at military college. I had no privileges. Couldn't as a freshman, you had no privileges. You couldn't read newspapers, couldn't listen to music, anything. And so by working on the campus radio station, it was the only way I could read the news and listen to music.
Wow. Which military institute?
This was Norwich University. It's a private military college in Northfield, Vermont.
A lot of history in there, I'm assuming.
Yes, they embezzled money from West Point to start the university, something like that.
Well, at least you started on a firm footing anyway.
That's right. Yeah, integrity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You mind if we take some extra money? You won't miss it.
You have plenty. Pedigree comic books are, of course, part of our industry, very much so now. Most recently, of course, the Promise collection, which was absolutely insane, the amount of money that went out of hand for people to go ahead. I live in shout out to Fresno.
That's right.
The pedigrees have been with us most notably for the Mile High collection, and then various and assorted ones that have followed since then with various stories of their goodness and relative goodness. One of the and there are quite a few of them. I have quite a few different pedigree collection books in my collection. One of which I have several of is called the Rockford collection. And the fellow that had these books was quite an interesting character. He had books and he had pulps and other things as well. And when the books came, when they came out, a lot of the Rockfords are really very high grade, lovely books, great colors and what have you. I had an opportunity to buy one, and this is Skyman. Come over here. Skyman #2, and this is the Rockford collection. The cover was done by Ogden Whitney. And Ogden Whitney was also the fellow who drew and was one of the creators of Skyman. He was a very good artist and worked in a lot of different things. You'll, if you're into the Silver Age at all, the character Herbie was done by Ogden Whitney, and a lot of people like Herbie. I don't really care too much for him, ACG type things. This was a company called Columbia Comics, and they did Big Shot comics and stuff like that as well, others as well. And when I was a kid, one of the remainders or one of the survivors of my father's comic collection was a Big Shot comic. And I remember the cover was gone and the first 1 or 2 wraps was gone. And it was a story called a guy called Sparky Watts. And Sparky Watts got almost all the covers to Big Shot comics. And I'm looking through it, and then in the middle of it was this Skyman story done by Ogden Whitney. I didn't know it was Ogden Whitney, but by him. And I said, wow, Skyman, how cool is that? And so why is Sparky Watts on there? Who did he pay to get on? But Skyman is a really great character, and he has much of the whiz-bang stuff that the Blue Beetle that Ditko created. Ditko has the bug. The Skyman had the wing. He had all kinds of guns and special stuff that he could use in his fight against crime, and wonderful art. And this is a World War II cover, and it says here, America's national hero smashes insidious Jap plot. And what you've got is all kinds of diseases that are all bottled up and ready for dispensation to come after us: cholera, typhoid, and all that other stuff.
Wow,
That's
crazy.
deep. Like that's
Yeah.
like if that's on the cover, that's deep. That's not meant for young kids. I don't
But
think.
you realize though that in the war was war.
Right.
And the idea that you're going to soft pedal what's actually going on. If they were talking about what was really going on in the war, you couldn't put it on the cover of a comic book. The only one that came close to that, or I mean, within reason, was Captain America 46, where they were loading all the Jews into the ovens, and Cap comes in and is busting up the Nazis that were doing that. And you know, they say, well, you shouldn't put that on a comic book cover. It's exactly what. Hi, Bleeker. It's exactly the kind of stuff that you want them to know because it was informing the public. And a lot of the publishers, as you know, were of the Jewish faith.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them had relations that were in Germany, and they were in the vanguard even before America got involved, pointing out these. Captain America 1 is before the war, and he's punching Hitler right in the chops. So there was a very specific reason, and well done. The other thing about the Golden Age books that mean a lot to me, I am a student of history, and I always like to put myself in the position of what were the kids looking at, what were they living with, when these books came out. So let's say this is 1944, excuse me, 1942. This is 1942. When this book came out, we had just we were still had a bloody nose from Pearl Harbor. And we were trying to ramp up. And so here you have all this terrible stuff. The Battle of Britain is going full tilt. Edward R. Murrow is intoning on the radio. And here's a kid lying on the living room carpet, reading a comic book, listening to Murrow talking, this is London and all the bombs going off. I mean, it's surreal. Put yourself in that position. You say, gee, Golden Age comic books are fun and they're really neat. They're wonderful. They are. And at the times that they were doing, the times when they came out, it's a very sobering thing. But the books, I think it was imperative that the comic books show what was going on, and every chance that the Axis forces, the Japanese and the Germans, and to a much lesser degree the Italians, were saying horrific stuff about us, the Allies, as well. So it wasn't like we were doing this in a vacuum. But the other thing is too, you can call it what it is. Because if you don't win, you're not going to be able to say anything, and you're speaking Japanese or German. So I don't have any problem with this. Just like Tibbets didn't have a problem with dropping the bomb on Japan. These people come up, how do you feel about the fact that you dropped the bomb on Japan? He says, I sleep like a baby every night. How can you do that? He said, because I saved millions of lives by doing it, Japanese and American. They figured the losses to invade mainland Japan would have been well over 2.5–3 million people. And so, and they didn't choose the main centers. They picked, and they told them it was coming. But anyway, that was that. And then right behind the gal that was making trouble for Tibbets was a guy that said, I'd like to say what that woman just said is ridiculous. I was one of the soldiers floating in a transport in the Sea of Japan waiting to go ashore. And because you did that, I got to go home and I didn't get shot on Japan. So I want to tell you, I thank you very much for that. So war is a very basic, it's a big thing for all of you military school guys. And us too.
Comic vet. Because he's not a veterinarian.
This one is a little bit more, this is somewhat controversial. Because the sensibilities have changed. But in the day, which was in 1947, this is by Leader Enterprises. And this is a Frank Little story, art and cover. Frank Little. And Frank drew this.
Slick chick.
And what it is it's some chimpanzees or monkeys dressed up in similar clothing to the slick chick and her boyfriend dancing. And behind them is an organ grinder, which is then where is the monkey coming from, and making the analogy. And then they try to make the analogy that monkeys are something that are nicht so good. Nice of me and culturally perceptive of me to show this. Okay. Still no dextrose.
Oh,
well, that's right. I made a statement, and I'm
no Baby
about to
Ruth.
burn on it.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
we got about we're 2 books away from half point.
Okay.
Phenomenal.
Okay, excuse me, 3 books. I got to get these 3 in.
No worries.
Again, to the atomic age. Actually, I will say this is pre-code because this is Ace Magazine's from June of 1952. This has a Lou Cameron cover. Lou Cameron did a lot of pre-code horror and sci-fi stuff, and in honor of your sci-fi, Rob, I wanted to show these as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, space action.
Actually, it's funny as I was looking at one of this. I think this covers one I was looking at not too long ago.
So, what issue number is this?
This is number 1.
Oh,
There are only 3.
okay.
Yeah.
And they're beautifully constructed. Cameron did a beautiful job on them. There's a good girl on this one. I love the rocket logo on the side showing, and it's
Planet
just
with the rings in the background, and
Yeah, the trade dress is beautiful on the book.
It's a lovely trade dress. You're right.
Yeah,
I agree. I managed to get. There was a buddy of mine found all 3 at the same time, and they all came back very nice. It's not a particularly common book at all.
No.
Well, there's that one.
There's a lot of books from that era that are not terribly common, not just because of age of it, because there was just so many also so many different publishers as well compared to
Exactly
small runs.
You ever see those pictures of the newsstands of the day, and they show there's just a sea of comic books waiting for you to buy, and they have clotheslines up above with paper clips, with a clothespin, so spring-loaded wood clothespins, holding these books all along the top. And this grizzled guy behind the counter smoking a cigar going, "Don't touch the books, kid." We continue with space action. Here's number 2, and this is Mr. Cameron. This is probably the best one, or the most thought of and sought after one of the 3.
Oh God, Peter, hit me!
Yeah!
Ow!
That is awesome, and a 7.5 for such a dark cover. That's tremendous.
Love that reflection in the goggles.
That trope, and there was some question about the shape of his ray gun was supposed to mean something. I don't know. I think people get so upset. I mean, what is please, really?
It's a ray gun. Move on.
It's a ray gun. In comics, a ray gun too. The monster has very lovely eyelashes. You'll notice.
Oh.
Isn't that lovely? And we're getting all the latest records on this one.
I was going to ask what's on the back.
$2.99.
Baby Ruth,
Pat Boone, Patty Page, the Tennessee Waltz.
Sci-fi is for nerds. Taylor.
Sci-fi is awesome, and you know that one of the main things about the Silver Age that happened, Julius Schwartz became the editor of the DC line, and when he came in, he brought science fiction along with the superheroes back with Flash to begin with, and it was the infusion of science fiction that was one of the primary things that was different from the Golden Age and or in the Atomic Age. So when you had the Flash, instead of Jay Garrick, he was a professor, but it was hard water. Barry Allen was a police scientist. So a lot of the sci-fi, Adam Strange, and a lot of the other characters that they came up with, a lot of it was sci-fi based.
Space Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
Space Ranger. He was the one that went up against Bob Brown, was the artist who did Space Ranger. You don't really hear much about Bob Brown, but boy, oh boy, he had 5 air medals. He was with Curtis LeMay in B-29's low-level incendiary bombing Japan. That's where Bob Brown was. Decorated soldier, aviator, like 5 or 6 air medals. He was a hell of a guy. He's a hero.
And of course, Marvel infamously really embraced the sci-fi era with how they introduced their characters, all with their
Well, the Hulk in particular, yeah.
Well, the Hulk, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, all of them took science fiction elements to bring in to give a lot of those early characters their powers. Look at that. That is awesome.
Stop kidding us. We know you're not being attacked. Our scientists say there's no life on Ishtar. He's got double eyeballs and slavering teeth, and they're all crawling out of the holes.
That's right. Stop kidding us, around. Or you're not being attacked. Oh, good. That's good. I'm not being attacked. That's great.
That's an
somebody tell this alien monster.
And on the back of this one, we have a thing called the Chevalier. The Chevalier you put on your waist, and the women cannot resist you.
Right. Shapewear. Got it.
You speak it.
Wow.
That's halfway through.
All right.
Phenomenal. Excellent. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and pause there then, and we'll go ahead and bring in our there we are. This is what we're gonna ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and throw up the hashtag no shoes. If you were here long enough, you'll know what that means. Hashtag no shoes. We're gonna do our giveaway, our first giveaway of the day here. While we're doing that, of course, first I want to remind everybody to feel free to, if you remember, God damn it, Rob, stop tripping over your own tongue. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Of course, remember Fat Stacks merchandise, 25% off with the code, and all stuff goes to Comics Curing Cancer. If you don't have a presser and looking for a presser, check out the roguetraderutah.com. Use the code FATSTACKS to receive 20% off comic book pressing, including already discounted bundles. And when you do use the code, $10 is donated to Comics Curing Cancer. Of course, you can check out the video where he recently took my Timely Submariner book and went through a whole process of mold remediation and some other processes to do, where we ended up getting it all cleaned back up, nice and preserved, put it back in a slab, and got a little bit of a grade bump out of it to boot, which actually surprised me. He was expecting it actually to go down slightly, but we were prepared for that in order to save the book long term. Chris, what do you got coming up on the old Comic Vet channel?
Well, I just dropped a mystery box opening from Ken Lashley himself. Ken Lashley, everyone, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet him at a con or whatever, often what he's doing right now is curating mystery boxes. Him and his wife put together 10, 12 mystery boxes, bring it to a con. And I was fortunate enough to pick one up just a short while ago at the Montreal Comic Con. And I opened that box just a couple days ago. And let me tell you, it's packed. He's delivered. If you're a fan of Ken Lashley, check out that video. Tomorrow, it'll be two cool guys, two hot picks, where myself and Mark from Legion of Comics give our hot picks for the upcoming new comic book day. And also, my channel's kind of known for opening Walmart packs, both DC, both Marvel. But I'm going to switch gears early next week, and I'm going to be opening, finally,
Target packs?
Packs from Ollie's. Ollie's is not here in Canada, and I got my hands on a couple packs via Comics by the Bay. So, Matt, thank you for that. And for the first time ever, I'll be opening Ollie's packs because I've had lots and lots of comments in those Walmart videos saying, you should try Ollie packs. You should try Ollie's packs. Well, I'm finally going to try out some Ollie's packs. So make sure you give those a check out when you have the opportunity. Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, phenomenal. All right, let's go ahead and pull this. We got 43 out of 48 viewers, so we're pretty close there to all maximum, and we have a show to keep chugging along here. So, ladies and gentlemen, Wheel of Fish. Who's going to be our winner? Remember, we ship.
Boom. Johnny
Five Alive. Congratulations. Haven't had Johnny Five Alive as a winner for a little bit. All right. So here's what's going to happen here, Steppo. You are going to be picking the books for Johnny Five. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to give me either a number between 1 and 10 from the front, 1 and 10 from the back, or we'll do some back to front action and you just tell me where to stop.
Okay.
We're going to be pulling a total of 6 books for him, unless we get one that says extra pulls and such like that. There's also a chance to win merchandise in here, collected books, trade paperbacks, and a slab.
Fair enough. My favorite number is 6, so I want 6 from the front and 6 from the back.
You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Hold on, let me make so we can't see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right.
Now 6 in from there. From your 6 there, go 6 further in.
4, 5. That was 6. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay.
Keep on and going. 6 all the way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And make sure that's 5. So one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right.
Watch your back, Rob.
First up, oh, here's some sexy goodness. How about some Justice Society of America Black Adam there? We got Alex Ross cover. There you go.
Nice cover.
That's awesome.
Yes, absolutely.
Alex Ross, no talent.
Yeah.
Here you go. Another great one. How about from recent book, Miles Morales Spider-Man? Nice graffiti cover.
Yeah, that kind of looks like a Mayhew, perhaps, but yeah, that's
No,
gorgeous too.
No, it's not a Mayhew.
It's not a Mayhew.
No, not even close. I'm trying to remember who it is, but I know it's not a Mayhew. But there you go, nice graffiti cover. We have from Vault Comics, Door to Door, Night by Night, #1.
Very cool.
We have Thor 266, reader copy.
Very nice.
Matter of fact, this one's such a reader copy. I'm just gonna reach in and pull another book out of here.
Oh, Rod, you good.
Oh, what did I just pull? Jesus Christ! There you go. I just pulled you Black and Gold #1.
That's a good one.
Wow. I'm sure Johnny would have been fine with that Thor.
Yeah. How about Venom #20?
Very nice.
And this is I think this is the 3rd printing, as I recall. This is the 1969 Classics Illustrated adaptation of Frankenstein. I know it's not the first printing because I just got done selling my first printing to Austin LeMay.
That's a blue. That's a blue cover, isn't it?
Yeah, this is HRN 169. I want to say that's the 3rd.
No, the blue. The first one is a blue cover, I believe.
Oh yeah. It's classic comics as opposed to Classics Illustrated, right? But anyways, so there you go, the adaptation of Frankenstein. Congratulations, there, Mr. Johnny 511. I should have all your shipping information, so we're gonna be good there. I'll just put a post-it on that to remind me. In the meantime, Chris, go ahead and put us back into show configuration if you would. And I'm going to say Johnny 5. That's what it was. All right. Seppo. We're going to get right back into you, getting some more books here.
Okay. Can I just say that I really like your wall, Rob? I think it's a beautiful thing. I really enjoy looking at your wall.
And it goes
a
up
lot of really, really cool books you have.
Thank you. It's really getting to be a pain in the butt deciding which ones go on there, and it's already aggravated me that most of the Golden Age doesn't get to make it onto the camera because it's above out of view there. Marty, thank you very much. You want to see another clip? Well, I have another new clip, so I will give you both the new clips today. Here we go. Thank you, Marty.
is good.
Thank you, Marty.
That is a good one. That is so good.
That's all right. Well, actually, we still like, I think, our original one best. Maybe we'll be lucky enough somebody will throw up another super chat at some point. We'll give you exposure to our original.
Just the wood being lifted up is what got me.
The obelisk.
That is
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad about the slick chick anymore.
Look, the name of the
man.
show is OnlySlabs. Innuendo and it used to be called SlabHub before we ran into some legal ramifications. But we live right on the edge of the innuendo here.
We float
it's all
with the code.
All right. Having said that, first of all, I love the pinball machines in the back, and I love the fact that if we look at he's got boxes of comics stacked on top of the pinball machines.
Well, those are empties.
Okay.
Because
you wouldn't want to put that weight on the glass. Yeah.
Yeah, I try not to do that. These are 1990s Williams machines. One is Bride of Pinbot. The other one, the one in the middle, is Funhouse.
Right.
And the one on the end is called Whirlwind. I don't know if you guys
I remember Whirlwind. Yeah.
Whirlwind. And
I
it has
legit
the
thought
3
you were going to
discs that
say.
have. I'm sorry.
I thought you were legit going to say that you have the Kiss pinball machine from the 70s, but you said 90s, so all good.
All of these are 90s, and then I have another one. I have Twilight Zone, which was the last really huge, great Williams machine, and then one called from Data East, which was a bunch of Williams ex-employees because the market was kind of up and down, and they did the first Star Trek one with Kirk and McCoy and all those. They did a Jean-Luc Picard one too later on, which was the Next Generation pinball machine. But so I talked about Hal Sherman in the Starling 49 book, providing some art. I have another Hal Sherman book here, art, and this is Star Spangled Comics #1.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh boy.
Another robot cover. I love me some robot covers.
The whole thrust of this, Jerry Siegel was the one who was the writer of this, and they were so sure, DC was so sure that they said, come up with a character that, surefire. And so he came up with a thing where you have the rich kid, and the rich kid is the big star, and the adult is the sidekick, his chauffeur, Stripesy, Pat Dugan. And so when it came out, there was a 2-page spread in Action Comics #40, and then they launched right into this, and then Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy then were members of in leading comics as part of the 7 Soldiers of Victory. And then they were in World's Finest. I mean, they really went to town with the Star Spangled Kid and Stripesy.
Would you mind bringing that just a little bit closer to the camera just for a second, if you can? Yeah. Oh, man, I love that robot. Awesome.
It is a totally old school robot, but very fun. Yeah. And the villain down there with the huge mustache is named Dr. Weird.
I've been accused of that.
Wow.
And on the back cover is a lovely pinup.
Yes, nice. Awesome.
And this book was from December of 1941. So this is, and of course it would have come out a couple months prior to that. So this is pre-World War II.
Nice. At least U.S. involvement.
Yeah, pre-Pearl Harbor.
Well, we were involved because we were providing lend-lease to England, big time.
Direct involvement, yeah.
Direct involvement. We also gave them 50 of the older destroyers, too, for convoy, and that's what the movie Greyhound with Tom Hanks is about. Mm-hmm. One of those old, and there are movies about British movies where they basically it's sort of like they called the destroyers gift horses. Because they were so old, they were very old destroyers. They were better than nothing, but they were old, and it was hard to get them out of the mothballs. But the British were very, very happy indeed to have them, and much to the chagrin of the Germans, for sure. Yeah. Now we are a little bit of some timely fun. One of my
Nope. Well, folks, well, surely he'll be back here in just a moment. In the meantime, coming up this week for me on the Fat Sacks channel, of course, on Thursday. See, there he is. He's coming back already. I'll finish my
What
statement,
happened?
and we'll get. I think you accidentally hit a button or something. But anyways, I was just saying, and I'll go right back to you guys. On Thursday, I dropped my video of IRF Authentics mystery box. I sat down with Ruben from IRF Authentics and made him sit there and squirm while I unboxed it in front of him. Phenomenal mystery box. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, check out the video. There's also an opportunity potentially to help benefit Comics Curing Cancer by letting him know if you want one of those boxes, but just let him know that you saw the box on the Fat Stacks channel, and then proceeds from the box could be donated to Comics Curing Cancer. All right. Let's get back to Steppo, and
You can call me Steven. You don't have to call me Steppo. My name's
okay.
Steven.
All right.
That excellent.
So
why am I having problems thinking? My brain. There we go.
Okay, so we're getting into timely. You said stuff.
Some timely fun. One of the areas I do like to collect is I'm very much into the Good Girls stuff, along with Schomburg and of course the Supers. But Alex Schomburg and Good Girls stuff is really where I hang my hat for practical purposes. And of course, in DC, it's Batman and like that there for the. But one of the artists who Stan Lee said was his very favorite for good girl faces and also for just really pretty girls to draw. It was his number one guy was a gentleman named Ken Bald. And Bald's work graces lots and lots of these covers. And post-war, Stan Lee became the head editor for Marvel Comics. And there is an enormous raft of these, I call them named girl comics. Cindy Comics. I mean, they're just a slew of them. Lana, Rusty. There's a bunch of them. Rusty. There's a bunch of them. And Ken Bald did a lot of those covers, and he also did interior art stories. Ken Bald also was involved in creating a superheroine, and that was Sun Girl.
Oh. Wow.
Let me see. This is a little bit better over here.
Nope. There you go.
So is this early timely then?
Well, no, this is post-war.
Okay.
This is 1948 August.
Okay.
And one of the backup story inside of this was Miss America, which was another one of the Marvel heroines.
Yep.
Miss Marvel, Blonde Phantom. They had a whole lot of them, and I think that Stan Lee was surprising how many issues there were as well. But this is a really fun, darn it, glare. It's a very fun cover. The faces and what have you. The mysterious beauty.
Yeah.
And we're selling nylon stockings here.
Well, it makes sense with the legs on the front there.
And a two-way girdle.
Was Stan Lee credited with writing that book?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
He actually wrote a lot of. He did everything.
Yep.
I have a couple of books that I just got here recently that were Good Girl Cindy type books, and in the middle was his. They tried to have another code that had a star. I can't remember what it was called, and it died of borning because no one wanted to go with it. And then the code did come in. They were trying to code themselves before they were coded, and it didn't work. Everything fell apart. And but what at the time that the drumbeat was going on, Stan did two big full-page defenses of comic books, and he talks about it, and he wrote beautifully. Stan is a great writer, and he did a beautiful letter, two of them. There may be more, about why comics are okay and why comics are good, and they are the stepping stones to fine literature, and they shouldn't be entice children to read and let them read other things. But if
Yeah.
you try to saddle them with the Scarlet Letter and Moby Dick, good luck, or a Tale of Two Cities, or something like, God forbid, Ulysses, forget it. Kids aren't gonna go for that. They won't read it. So this is trying to point that out. Of course, Wortham and the Codes were not that interested. What a crummy band that was, Wortham and the Codes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
here is,
it's funny because I've told this story before. That's how I got back into comics, was actually when my son was about 7 years of age, and wanting him to read more, and taking him to the comic book store to go get comics, to get more books that were something that he might be more interested in reading rather than regular books. And my youngest also was big into manga, because those types of books, they had a little bit of dyslexia, and it's much easier for them when it's not giant walls of text, when it's broken up, to be able to read and everything else that helps them to do stuff. So they're excellent gateways, and it can help people become good readers and stuff too.
well, that's where I learned to read. And I knew the words, and I knew what they meant. I knew what invulnerable and ironic meant. Invulnerable for DC, and ironic for Marvel. Marvel was always and the ping pong ball was actually not the planet Earth that the invaders came to. How ironic. Here is, we continue with Ken Bald and Sun Girl. Here is Sun Girl number 2.
Oh,
yes.
I love that costume. It's so simple yet so elegant at the same time.
Very fashionable for the time.
And that is definitely Ken Bald's style. And the faces are so pretty that when I'm looking at them, my eye generally will go to the Metal Men Help Pass. I learned a lot of
exams. Yeah.
I learned, and there's your science fiction. There's your science stuff again from DC.
Yep.
Where now I learned all about, gee, I can stretch gold that far. Wow, lead melts at that temperature. Wow, tin isn't very strong, but he's so nice. Platinum, what's with platinum? Okay, her responders, something's wrong. Old Doc Magnus did something, right? Okay. And here is, we continue with Ken Bald and Sun Girl, and here is Sun Girl number 3.
Wow.
On the trapeze. She's the one who made Dick Grayson's parents die. I know.
It's the only possible explanation, but you'll notice the knife.
Retcon.
The knife is going.
Somebody was trying to take her out. Oh.
But look at that face and her hair and the scale, the proportion, and everything else that goes with it. She's just lovely. And that's what he was known for. I got these 3 books from Rick Akers of Rick's Neat Stuff, and he works now with Heritage. Great guy. And I also got my Archie number 50 from him, and a few others too. But really, great collections and stuff with him. Now I shift back. Since I collected Batman, I really didn't pursue Superman all that much, but there are a few Superman covers that I really fell in love with and really wanted to get. This one I bought back, I think, in 1997 from a guy named Richard Muchin, who's back east, and I bought books from him. I collected a lot of adventure comics with the Legion of Superheroes. Was my very first title as a kid, and then I graduated basically into the Flash, and Flash was number one for me. And then Marvel came. It was all DC in my neighborhood, and Legion of Superheroes was numero uno in my neighborhood. But anyway, in Superman in the 50s, one of the artists they had, his name was Wayne Boring, and Wayne Boring was the one that had the really roundy eyeballs. And he had Superman always would fly standing straight up with one leg back up. and that's how he would fly in, and just very stylized, really cool art. But back in the day, Joe Shuster could not keep up with the load of both of all Action, Superman, and World's Finest. To create his vision was not that good. His eyesight he had real trouble. And so they had ghost artists for Schuster right from the jump. And there are any number of them that they would do their sort of interpretation of Schuster. John Cassidy was one. Wayne Boring was another one. They had John Sikela was another one that they would basically follow through and keep him on schedule. And this is one of my absolute favorite Superman covers.
Yeah! Yeah!
Lightning bolt cover. That is awesome.
8.5. Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
And a white pager.
Oh.
So what? I'm gonna try and guess the year on this. I can't see. It's a little small. It is 43.
It is January, February 1945. So we're still in the war.
Yep.
And and also who appears inside this book is the Toy Man. Is not his first appearance, but it has a Toy Man story in it. They just did an homage to this a little while back, where they did an It Tickles with another guy that was doing it. But the thing about this, Wayne Boring is not drawing Wayne Boring here. Wayne Boring is drawing Joe Shuster. You see?
Yeah.
And if you'll notice, the green aura around him in this black with the yellow lightning bolts coming in, it's really the layout, the colorist and what have you that they did was just really, really well done. And they went to the detail of putting the gold wrap at the top of his boots.
Yeah.
If you'll notice, they really went to town. And then they did not put the S on the back of his cape. And a lot of times it would vary how they would want to do that, depending upon the artist.
Yeah, and the stylized S is already here at this point in time. Then,
and one of the ones, the S's, I really do like the way it was drawn, was the way that Jack Burnley would draw it. And his first cover that has the first time that Superman, Batman, and Robin are all in one cover is New York World's Fair of 1940, and it's that triangular one that has. It is really a cool looking cover. And the back cover of this is an advertisement for Ever Ready batteries.
Hey,
right,
that's a brand that you don't hear.
Yeah.
Don't think it's gone away.
No, they're still around.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fun when these guys restore electric cars toys. They actually have the wrap. They can buy whatever battery they want, but they can get a wrap that looks just like an Ever Ready battery from 1944.
From that period,
yeah.
You know, and I always said, how in the hell did they find a battery and it works? Would they wrap them?
That hasn't swelled and it started leaking.
Yeah, it's buzzed out of everything, you know.
Can't even do that with a modern battery still. So,
I just recently bought this book, and it is an artist by the name of Jack Sparling, and Sparling's art is actually quite good. This is an incredibly, very, very low census book, and the reason I found out about this was because Alan, the comic collector geek, has a wonderful show on Sundays where he shows his top 10 Golden Age books of the week. And there was a raw copy of this that sold for, I think, $875. And the Heritage said, I think, was a 5.5. They felt it was a 5.5. And he had mentioned that there was a 5.0 on eBay currently, and it was like $600 or something. It was like $200 or $300 less. Well, that's like waving a red flag in front of me. I'd never even seen this cover, but I just love it.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Told to the Marines.
Yeah, show. Yeah, it says there exactly. Show me a book I haven't seen that I want, and then tell me that it's affordable at the same time. Yeah, get out of my way.
This particular, the interior art on this, if you go on my wall, I just posted it recently. The interior which is available on Comic Books Plus, which is the public domain site where you can see the insides of all these, most all of these books if they have them. It's a wonderful resource. And it's pinup girls inside in this thing where they have a trope where they have the Marine sergeant who's getting all the women, and he's got two young guys, grunts that don't know what they're doing. And, oh, we don't know what's going on. He says, well, who are you going to take? Oh, I'm taking Dancing Willie. I'm taking Dancing Tessie to the dance. And then there's a big pinup of Dancing Tessie. And he supposedly is, the Beau Brummel, and he's knocking all these women over, which is very sensitive. And this is from May of 1952, which puts this smack dab into the Korean War.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Korean War books are very, very violent. The war covers for the Korean War. And I have a couple more Korean War. Again, this is my Atomic Age thing that has been working on me here. The Good Girls stuff and the Atomic Age stuff, Golden Age, Atomic Age. It's just it's a rich area. The supers died out. And then into that vacuum came Good Girls and sci-fi and PCH and big time. And it's just, and the stuff, the covers, and then you merge the fusion of Good Girl, which was very good for sales, red dresses, no matter what, but Good Girls in sci-fi, Good Girls in horror, Good Girls in Good Girls, Good Girls in romance, in comedy.
Girls in jungle.
Girls in jungles. How well you put it. How many jungle princesses do we have? We have a lot of them. How do they not crash into it? Sheena, all these different ones. Tigra, they're all swinging around in the Belgian Congo. And speaking of jungles, there is a fella who drew only one complete book of art, and it is a jungle theme. And the guy was a relatively good artist, and his name was Frank Frazetta.
Never heard of him.
And this was the book that he did, the entire book, and the only one that he ever did, and it's Thunder #1.
Who's the publisher for this, Stephen?
ME, Magazine Enterprises.
Okay.
And Frazetta would have done more, but there was some sort of a problem where there was a disagreement about something, and he says, fine, I'm done, I'm out of here. He only did one. And if you look, the gal is very fulsome, a la Frazetta.
Yeah.
And the native, everything is backward, including me. And the native is offensive.
Yep.
But Frazetta
stereotypical of the time.
But Frazetta of the time, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but the interior of this, which is also on Comic Book Plus, the interior of this book has all manner of stuff that is very similar to his, like the Conan covers that he did, all those paperbacks for Conan novels that he did back in the day, and all those wonderful The Death Dealer and all that other stuff. A lot of the dinosaurs and monsters and the physical nature of what the characters, it is definitely Frazetta. It's definitely worth, if you could get this book, it is Frazetta all the way through, and it's wonderful, wonderful interior art straight through.
Nice, yeah. Frazetta's put out a lot of amazing stuff.
I have 4 more, and then that's my 20. Okay. So another artist that I really like is a Good Girl artist, and his name is Bill Ward. And Bill Ward was the one who invented Torchy, America's Blonde Bombshell.
Mm-hmm.
And he did an awful lot of work for men's magazines and these full-page cartoons where he builds women that are excesses of estrogenic joy. And they are built in a fashion that is a dreamscape of estrogen. And that's all I can say. And if you have ever seen Bill Ward stuff, it is absolutely spectacular. He's Feldstein. It was also a very great Good Girl artist. it's like Feldstein on steroids. He really, it's like wow. And he didn't do an awful lot of cover work. Bill only did 2 of the Torchy covers, number 5 and number 6. Another fellow, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head, who did the other ones. But this is the only Bill Ward cover for this title. Quality Comics.
Oh boy. 8.5.
Yeah.
The colors stand up against the test of time on that book too. That is gorgeous.
And the gal on the cover can have any man she wants. And the blonde that's further back is all bent out of shape. How in the world can I compete with, what's her name, Militia or whatever her name is? And she's a bad cat. She doesn't really care about this guy. She's going to use him for her own devices. And the blonde wants to marry him, and this one's just having fun. And he, of course, is all the men in these romance books. The gals all lead them around by their glands, and they talk about the girl says, "Yes, yes, no." No, oh, I don't know. I can't feel. Oh. And then they're crying. There's lots of crying and shenanigans going on in these. And that's, I think, their great charm and of the time. And this was from January of 1950. And the artwork inside is done by another really good artist whose name is Paul Gustafson. And so, and on the back cover of this one, again, is no dextrose.
Well,
but it's how it's
look at
sort
that.
of like a Nazi war doctor device. She says, "Yipes! Could I use a belly flattener? Boy, this sure takes me in."
Yes. Stephen, I hate to do this. We're gonna have to speed it up, maybe cut a book or two, because Chris has to run, and we want to make sure we
Here
get
is
to
another Matt Baker cover of this Korean War.
phenomenal.
It's called Wartime Romances.
That is awesome.
And there's
I like the trade dress
on the back.
Yeah.
They send you the parakeet, and you take pictures of the parakeet.
No cost. No cost. Please take this parakeet.
Here's a PCH book.
Oh yeah,
Web of Mystery.
that's nice.
And this is Mike Sikowski, who did Justice League. It's a Mike Sikowski cover, Ace
Nice.
Comics. This is from December 1952. And the last book is Weird Adventures.
Oh, nice.
Oh. That is incredible work on the cover there. Wow.
I like the ghost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is from July, August of 1951. And we're losing weight on the back from all the dextrose.
Oh, there we go. See, I made a mistake of saying that there's a lot of Baby Ruth ones, and you didn't have a single Baby Ruth in the entire
I do have
line.
a lot. I do have, but the atomic age doesn't. It's the early golden age, just like you were talking about.
Yeah,
That's where you have it is Baby Ruths and Butterfingers, and I do have those too.
that or Daisy air rifles, one or the other, right?
Gotta have a
At least
Daisy.
how it seems. Stephen, I'm so sorry to had to
That's all
sped
right.
you through those last couple ones. I thank you so much for coming on.
My
Thank you for all
pleasure.
the chat. I want everybody to get a chance here. We're going to do our last giveaway here. Hashtag OnlySlabs, if you guys would please. Stephen, anything coming up for you? Any appearances or anything coming up that people can check you out in the
Nope,
next...
nothing. This is the one that I've been doing. The other ones I don't have any as yet anymore. At least
Nothing on the schedule.
Nothing on
Phenomenal.
the schedule.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed your appearance here. Hopefully, we can get you on another time down the road on another appearance. Love to have you come on again. Such great knowledge that came up multiple times. Of course, guys, make sure you follow them for Instagram down below there at Collecto6. Check that out and give him a follow. Guys, also coming up for me this week, Monday, usual schedule. Monday and Thursday we release unboxings. Mondays mail call. I continue our big key Mondays that we've been doing this summer. 2 really big modern keys we unbox this week, and then on Thursday will be a Jack B mystery box for charity, a $230 mystery box with some of the proceeds going to Feed the Children charity. Phenomenal box, guys. And the books I ended up with out of this, you're gonna want to tune in this. Next week, we are back again on Saturday with Hydra Collectibles. I got the map here. Boom. Here we go. Hydra Collectibles beyond from the UK. So let's check him out as he joins us. And of course, if you want, Luke will be on with me on the Triple G channel here in just about 5 minutes. All right. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, my pleasure. We love having you on, and I really apologize again.
That was awesome.
You through there, but guys, last moments there for Only Slabs. Get your views in 31. I'm going to give you it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner this go around here is
fish. Boom. Mad Spidey.
Mad Spidey, Australia wins. All right, let's hear it for Australia. Let me pull myself, make myself big. All right,
Watch
Chris.
Now this is easy. This one.
I know you just need to pull a bunch of Spider-Man just to get to find it all.
Okay, right, we're gonna since Rob's a little crunch for time, Morgs, we're gonna do it this way. Rob, let it ride.
Back to front it is.
Stop and take those 2. Okay, Rob, let it ride. A little bit further south. Stop. Let it ride. Take those 2. And we're going to let it ride going back and stop. And those 2 as well. All right, Simon, good luck, my man.
All right.
Careful with that box, Rob.
Let's see. Marvel 2-in-1. The Thing in Morbius.
He'll like that. He'll like that.
He likes Marvel. That's right. If you can't pull Spider-Man, just pull Marvel. How about Supermassive, the epic crossover events from the Supermassive universe there?
Inferno Girl.
Radiant Black.
We have an extra pull, so we got to pull another book here. In King in Black, Namor.
Okay. Rob, the extra pull. Take the 3rd one from the front, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, third one from the front. All right, 1, 2, and 3. All right.
Okay.
How about the facsimile? Don't get too excited. Facsimile for Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Jackal and some dude with a gun. Batman. Issue nice 459.
That's a nice cover.
Oh, here's another facsimile. I don't know if you've ever seen this book before. This is kind of a nice little book, though. But I don't know, Brave and the Bold 28. There's a couple. It's kind of a significant book. Big deal. This last book, though, this is a Spidey book. You're gonna love it. I love this cover. I think this cover is just so great. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 4 from the current run.
Oh my!
And here's Peter sewing his costume while Mary Jane is sewing him up.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's a great cover.
Yeah, look at those legs. Oh yeah, and there she is barefoot. There we go. No shoes once again, both of them. Yeah, it's a great cover. I love that cover. Congratulations, there, Spidey. What's with all the fake books, Chris?
Yeah, he's just a little behind.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got a clue here, Spidey. No, I think he's talking about the facsimiles.
I know,
Spidey. I just don't give away Brave and the Bold 28 originals. Sorry, I don't even have a copy of the original for myself yet. It's on the list. Guys, appreciate you all coming on out and hanging with us. And again, Stephen Collecto6, make sure you give him a follow. Guys, thank you to all the channel members. Thank you, Marty, for the super chats. Everybody, until next time, make sure you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody else, especially me. I mean, I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.